Walking the aisles of the Western Farm Show can be a time for quiet contemplation. But right next door, the Kemper Arena is rocking to the whine of jet turbines, the snarl of superchargers, and even the whistle of twin turbos. These are the modifieds, the radical fringe of tractor pulling, and it's gonna get loud.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
Welcome to Kemper Arena in Kansas City and the Outlaw Pulling Series. I'm Claude Wood, and along with Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson, we will be bringing you all the action in the modified class, as well as the battle for supremacy in the Super Farm category. Dave, fill us in on the essentials of the sport of pulling.
Tractor pulling, you hook onto a mechanical sled that as it goes down the track, the turning of the tires pulls the weight up the rails, transferring the weight from the rear tires onto the skid pan, which makes it so heavy you can't go any farther.
Kyle Petch getting ready to pull, but right now let's get some more on this class with Dave.
7,400-pound modified tractors, Outlaw style. You can run a variation of a lot of different things. You're taking a look at twin Hemis. Run what you brung. As big as you want to get, let them go. You'll also find that you have aircraft engines. This being a T-55, you could even run the big Allisons. On down the line, you'll also see the triple Chevrolets. You can put them any configuration, stack them in a triangle. Chevrolets runs against the twin Hemis, and then you go right on down to the Allison aircraft. And if you really want to get fancy, take a DT466 diesel and put some spark plugs in it, and you're running Outlaw modifieds.
Kyle Petch, and this is called Thermal Thunder. It's a turbine T-55 Lycoming engine.
Kyle Pesh doing the driving. His dad even does some outlaw announcing throughout the summer months. Fred Pesh watching his son go down the track, making a really nice run right there. Up in the air, putting the weight on the rear end. He goes 199 and 49. You take a look at this. 20,000 RPM on that turbine. Got a little high, got a little bounce. Unloaded twice right there. Letting that big turbine wind down. You see those tires spinning in right there. Pretty decent pull for the Thermal Thunder team. Let's go down to Rick.
Kyle Pesh started out, the front end was up in the air, but it looked like it ended a little quicker than what you wanted.
It did. On these inside tracks, they're going to kind of hit you a little bit harder down at that other end. You're going like crazy. Box hits, you're stopped. It was a great run in my mind. Hopefully I've set a mark to beat.
Our next puller in the modified class is Bill Murr from McGlouth, Kansas, driving the Hooterville Express. And you will notice that he has gone with multiple engines to propel his tractor. The front wheels are up in the air, and he lays down a strong pull. The flag waves and the laser beams tell us it is a distance of 196.58 feet, just 3 feet shy of taking the lead. Getting ready to pull next is Justin Gallion, and over the past few years, he has had a streak of bad luck at this track.
Well, the past 3 years in a row, we've made the pull-off every time. And the first year, we had an oil line come loose, had to let out of it. And the second time, the safety chain fell out of the back of the tractor, went underneath the sled and made a boat anchor, and it wouldn't pull very good. And then last year, we made it in the pull-off and went out of bounds at the end, at a DQ right at the very end.
Daytime job. He's an excavator, hoping to move a lot of dirt today. This is Justin Gallion.
Well, he's got a point to prove. He needs to prove he can do good here in Kansas City. Scream those motors. Two big Hemis coasted into the sand pile. I seen a little bit of hand gesture right there. He's a happy camper. Look at the side of those tires. He wrinkled the tires. Let's take a ride behind two big Hemis. They are talking. They are singing. We're coasting right in. A nice pull. 207.76.
That was a really good run. Is there anything you would have changed?
Not really. That thing was just balanced about the way I wanted it, and the RPM came up, and it was a good ride.
And that'll bring up Brandon Gilliland. He started pulling in 2005.
Out of Uvalde, Texas. Get your map out and take a look where Uvalde is. It's way down deep South Texas. Triple Chevrolets, two abreast up front, one turnaround backwards on the back. Slides it right in there, lets those Chevrolets do the work. He goes 195 and 69. Nice pull for the Texas man.
Next up will be Jeff Paulson. He's running on empty, but hopefully not today, huh?
No, you don't run on empty in Kemper Arena. You better run full blast. Get it on. You better look out. You better call a wrecker. That's what you better do.
He went out of bounds. Let's go to the replay and see what happened on this pull, Dave.
Well, he's wide open on the motors. The front end come up in the air, which loaded his tires, torqued the frame, and now we have got a real problem.
Well, the pull was good right up to that point.
Right, and all of a sudden the chassis twisted on me really hard. I got a good bite, it turned on me. I couldn't bring it back. I was all over the brake, but it wouldn't come back.
Taking a look at the leaderboard, look at this. Justin Gallion in his quest to finally win this event. He's there right now. Full pull mark set at 207.76. Stay with us. More of those loud screaming modifieds when we come back.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Bauer Built. Our strength is in our people and the customers we serve. Will Cross Seed. Good product, good prices, good service. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Welcome back to Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. We're at the Western Farm Show Championship Pull. We're glad you joined us today. He's everywhere. This is Don Nelson out of Cat Springs, Texas, one of two machines. And what is this, bi-directional motors, Dave?
One pointing forward, one pointing backward, joined in the middle, going down to a drive shaft, going to the other end, a little bit of oil spraying out, blow-by tube or something right there. He goes 203.64. He moves into second place. Get a shot from the sled box. Coming to the top. Oh, walk the dog. Blowing oil and going to the other end. Rick Carlson, find out what happened.
Donald Nelson, number 2 spot, but that's an exciting run, and it's not going to rust.
No, it's not going to rust for sure. Just the blow-by tube came off right there. I don't know. It's got a lock on it. I guess it vibrated loose. No big deal on that. Tractor run really good. I'm, tickled with it. Got me right down there to the sand pile.
And that'll bring up Brett Behrens out of Firth, Nebraska. This is the second out of 2 turbines in the program today.
Both turbines coming out of Nebraska. This one right here, driven by brothers. Now, Brett's on the seat today. Cody normally does the driving. Kind of bouncing a little bit going down the line. It goes 192.65. You can tell by the ruts right there, pretty straight pass. Comes off the line pretty decent, making a straight pass, but right there, the front end goes up in the air, gets a little bounce. That definitely hurt him. That up in the air did hurt him.
Brett, I don't think that was all that you were hoping for.
No, it really wasn't. We thought we had to wait it about what we wanted. It felt pretty good until the front end came up there about 2/3 track, and then it slammed it right down. I don't know what it was. Maybe a little less air in the tires. It just never really hooked up like we wanted it to.
Okay, Chevy fans, here are 3 mounted on cotton candy, driven by Cameron Neves.
572 cubic inches in a triangle. Cameron and his dad, George, and his mom, Gail, all a big part of the Outlaws. Once again, you see that front end go up in the air, load a tire, had to fight it back. Got a distance of 201 and 69. You're sitting in the seat, noise hitting you in the face. You see that front end come up, you see that white line come over to your side, you got to hit the brakes. Yep, just wasn't going to work.
Have you ever seen 6,000 horsepower? You have now. Well, that'll bring up Brady Morrow out of Brownfield, Texas, a farmer and tractor mechanic.
Actually, it's a vintage tractor mechanic. He likes working on the old ones, and he's got a lot of his new design on this. All of a sudden, things went downhill. That motor went down. Something not right. Now, that flame you're seeing right there, that's just excess alcohol coming out of the pipes. See if we can pick up something coming here. It's singing, and then all of a sudden, it says, no, I don't want to play no more. I quit. I'm
Okay.
The Texas Bullwhip. Here's Donald Nelson again. This engine, a 601 cubic inch.
DT 466. If you ain't never changed your spark plugs in a diesel engine, well, right there it is. Look at that exhaust. Look at that exhaust pipe turning red. 3 turbochargers cranking 601 cubic inches. Oh, he's going to be happy. 205.67. He moves into second. Gallion still in the lead by himself. Nobody's touched that 207. But Don Nelson made a pass at him right here. Straight and beautiful. Lays it right in there. You can't ask for more out of 601 cubic inches than what he just did.
Craig Ulmer, a 4-time winner here in Kansas City, but today he has to go at least 207 feet.
The pressure's on him. He knows what he's got to do. He didn't want that front end that high. Working the brake. Can he get, oh yeah, put it in the sand. Now his dad, you see him walking up the side right there with thumbs up, and he's already looking underneath the tractor to see what's going on. Listen to these motors. He hits a brake right there. You heard those motors kind of sing down a little bit, but he is pushing it to the end.
Craig, that was beautiful.
Well, thank you. I overbraked a little bit right there at the beginning, and funny thing, Dad warned me about not doing that. Funny thing how Dad's always right.
Our next puller is Scott Bracken out of Pleasant Hill, Missouri, and by trade, he's an auto mechanic.
This man is a 9-time Missouri State Tractor Pulling Point champion. That's what got him into the Western Farm Show. Oh, work on the brakes, slam on the brakes. Bouncy, bouncy. DQ out of bounds. You've seen the red flag fly on him. That's not a good picture when that happens.
That was our last puller, but hey, we're not finished yet. More modified action. In fact, a pull-off. Craig Ulmer, never been beaten here. Justin Gallion, he has the Kemper curse, and we'll be back to see if he can break it. Welcome back to Kansas City, the Kemper Arena, and the pull-off in the modified class. Craig Ulmer fires up his engines, while on the track is Justin Gallion.
Face shield down. You've seen the look of determination. The Kemper curse is riding with him, and he's going to try to run over it. He's going to try to mow it down. Those Hemi engines are talking. Got a tick high. He's got to live with whatever distance. No second chance. Going to lay it in at 200.79. Is that going to be enough? Take a look at this head-on shock cloud. Those butterflies went open in a hurry.
They did, but look how high he went in the air. He's bound to have lost distance there.
And he knows it too.
Well, you start off with a 200-foot run, but that sacrifice to the Kevlar gods, losing a belt.
Yeah, it happens, I guess. The curse continues.
The bullseye is on Justin Gallion. The mark to beat, 200.79 feet, and Craig Ulmer has him in his sights.
Never been beaten. Never been beaten. He has got so much pressure on him. Oh, he is screaming those Chevrolets. Whistling those Chevrolets, chasing the Hemis. Did he go past? Yes, he did. 204.77 on the replay. Butterflies goes open. You see all that steam? Those motors are boiling hot, coming right off his run a while ago, but he don't care. He's driving it to the win.
You got the win here, 5 in a row. That really puts lead on you to work the rest of the season.
Yeah, it does put on the pressure because the expectation is definitely there then. But hey, we're just out here having fun, and we put on a great show for him tonight.
The final results show that the curse continues for Justin Gallion as he loses once again to Craig Ulmer, this time by about 4 feet. Let's turn our attention now to the 9,200-pound turbocharged tractors in Super Farm. Our first puller is John Platty. On board, Turbo Up.
9,200-pound Super Farm tractors. As close of a competition class you'll ever want to find. The horsepower, all the rules and everything close to the same. Is it going to be green? Is it going to be red? That's where the crowd gets into it. What makes this class so equal is they all burn the same diesel. They all got to burn the same type of water. Plus, they have got to use the same style precision box turbo. Everybody's got the same mechanics who can put the power to the ground.
The Farm Boy way. Okay, we'll go with that. Turbo Up is driven by John Platty.
John Deere time. Now this guy runs a powder coating company, farms a little bit, done a lot in the antique world, but heavy duty super farm puller, first one in the class, working the motor. He got close to the sand. You could hear that motor pulling down just a little bit. Loaded up, took it to the other end. He's the first puller, but I think he will take that. Super Farm Boys, that smaller turbo. Listen to that motor. And hitting the brakes right there to stay in bounds didn't help much.
John, that looked okay. Wanted to go to the right at the top end, but other than that.
Wasn't a bad run. This is a really, really good track. The Outlaws have done a wonderful job building this track. The sled is probably one of the best in the country and probably one of the best operators. When they set it, it's good.
The only lady puller in the class, Marky Roberts. It's a New Holland tractor called Spanky's Toy.
This is the pulling family. Dad, brothers, everybody involved in Spanky's Toy. Now she is an underwriting assistant. That right hand's forward. You can see when that head leans forward, she is hammering to the other end. Going to come up a couple feet short as she goes 2:02 and 19.
And that will bring up last year's Super Farm tractor champion, Norm Cavan, driving Magnum Force.
Norm coming off of a great run in Louisville a week ago. Tractor just dialed in for the Western Farm Show. Him and his boys, Justin and Steve, heavy duty in the Super Farm world building motors, and he just showed you why he put it on the other side of the track. Goes 210, foot even.
Going to the replay, you can see that Norm has spotted his tractor slightly to the right.
Yeah, not only does he spot it to the right, he drives it to the right. He wanted out of everybody else's ruts, and that 210 is going to put him in the lead.
A farmer and mechanic by trade. This is Eric Groney out of Wayne, Nebraska.
The Husker Hooker got 8th here last year, finished middle of the class, so he knows what this track's all about. Got a spinning grin. That right foot went up on the brakes just in case, but he's not going to need it. Running out of ponies, takes it down to the other end. 195.33, lacking just a little bit.
Steve Cavan getting ready to pull. We saw his dad pull earlier, and you'll see Steve when we come back.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Sapp Brothers. Visit one of our 16 full-service truck stops today. Agency 212, Marketing, Communications, Public Relations. Extreme Performance, a cut above the rest. And by Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener.
Fans of all ages at the Kemper Arena, Kansas City, Missouri, and the Western Farm Show Championship Pull. We're glad that you have joined us today. This is Steve Cavan driving Pride of the Farm.
Well, the Cavan family, as I said earlier, very instrumental in building motors for a lot of pullers. Now, he is driving the tractor owned by Kent and Lisa Moravik. You hear the horsepower in that motor. Never hurt for power, never hurt for the power. Takes it down to 2:01 and 58. Nice run. Let's go down to Rick Carlson, find out what Steve has to say.
Steve Cavan, we've had you on camera. Now tell us exactly what you go through on that pull.
Oh, I start out, I watch attack, which I probably should never do, but I watch attack and get her up to about 4,000 and start easing out on the clutch and just kind of let it go. 2 brake pedals down here, independent brakes, one right, one left. So when the tractor starts veering towards the left, you'd hit the right brake to bring it back. Let off the throttle and step the clutch in at the same time and let everything kind of come to a screeching halt.
Well, those camera angles really remind us, Dave, what hand-eye coordination goes into this sport. Here is Chad Andrews.
The Bruley Mule. Now, Bruley, that's a river up by Beersford, South Dakota, where they come from. The John Deere 4455. This young man's dad, a top puller in the Super Farm ranks. Chad doing a great job of driving it in there at 2:02 and 14. A great job of driving. Like to have been farther. A head-on shot right here. Front end just a skipping. trying to go to the left a little bit. He used all of his ponies, he used all of his traction. Good run.
It'll bring up Chad Weizenkamp out of Hooper, Nebraska. He calls his tractor Someday.
Another one of the top runners. Everybody in the United States has heard of the Someday tractor, the Weizenkamp family. Oh, we're looking nice. He's making a pass at Cavan. He is shooting at him. Lays it in there. Hey, he's going to set in number 2 for right now. He goes 2:07.39. Love the sound of this tractor. You can hear the horsepower. He knows where he's going to. He thought he was going to get there. Coming up a tick short.
From Hubbard, Iowa, that will bring up Dustin Platty.
Now, Dustin's dad pulled earlier. That was the farm boy way. Now, here comes son in a tractor called the Gray Area. You know they've talked about strategy, where they want to go to on the track. And he run out of a pony. He might be wishing he was in lower gear. He goes 1:97.20.
And we are down to our last puller in the Super Farm Tractors category. It's Red Rock, driven by Dave Roseboom.
There's actually 3 owners on this tractor: Dave Roseboom, Barry Aberhals, and Kurt Koyma. Red Rock was in Louisville last weekend, done a great job. Never count this tractor out. He is a contender for a fact. He is shooting at him, shooting at him, shooting at him. 2:06.10, 2:06.10, that'll put him into 3rd place.
Norm Cavan getting congratulations all around from his fellow pullers. Let's go down now and check in with Rick Carlson.
That pull-off that didn't happen, you're going to have to settle for the win.
I'll take it. I was pretty nervous there with all them tractors. They all run good, and it's anybody's day, any day, and we're just happy. 2nd year in a row for us. So.
Final results, Norm Cavan, Magnum Force. He wins it by only about 2.5 feet. But look how close the competition was all the way down the field. And that'll put a wrap on another great Outlaw truck and tractor pulling event. For Rick Carlson and Dave Bennett, Claude Wood, so long from Kansas City, Missouri.